Hello. Okay, so we have the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck, and then we also have the Sacred Traveler Oracle cards. Let's do this one first and then this one. Good morning. Good morning. I feel good. I feel good. Message of the day. What do you guys want to know about? What do you guys want to know about? Message of the day. All right. Heartache and loss. Are any of you going through this? Heartache and loss? Interesting. All right, let's see what the other deck says. This deck is based on tarot, so this is also the Three of Swords. That's the one where you have like the three swords piercing the heart. That's what the image looks like in the traditional tarot. All right. Message of the day. I'm trying to grab the one card. Oh, so perfect. Taking shelter, the answers are within. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, I was going to talk about this anyway, but in like a separate video. But I think it's perfect that this came out exactly the way it did. So I started listening to or watching Jewel on Joe Rogan's podcast last night, and I continued it this morning. I'm still in the middle of it, but it's so good. It's so good. So Jewel is this singer songwriter, and I developed an interest in her. Was it earlier this year? I don't know when I put out that video. There's this video on my channel. I put it as like the introduction video too, where it says Jewel is psychic and so are you, and I did a whole video on that, on how she inspired this for me to do this video on how everybody is psychic, but they don't all know it. Because I read some stuff about her and I was like, oh my gosh, I read this interview about her. I was like, oh my gosh, she's psychic. But she doesn't use those words, and she doesn't talk about, she's just talking about her own experience. And I recognized her as having these abilities. And I was like, but everybody has these abilities, but they don't know, right? So that's what inspired that video. So you can go watch that video of mine if you want to. I'll link it in the description below. But anyway, so yesterday I was watching Joe Rogan's interview with her, and she talks about all of this really, really amazing stuff. And I'm just still in the beginning of it. And she gets so deep into like how she grew up in a horrible situation. She was like homeless for a while, and she came from an abusive home, and all this stuff, but how she herself learned to go within. The answers are within. So she was in this state, and she learned to figure out on her own, how to go inside and talk to her. She called it something else, but like in my terminology, I would say spirit, right? Her higher self, her spirit. And I'm just looking at my notes. Oh, she called it her greater sense of intelligence, right? She learned to go within and get answers from herself on how to get herself out of this depressive state that she was in. She was kind of suicidal, and she had panic attacks. Like, she learned how to go within and figure out these very therapeutic methods to journal and develop a sense of awareness of what she was doing, the linking her thoughts to her actions. And she did all of this stuff, okay, on her own. She figured this out all on her own. And her motivation, her desire was to get herself out of this state of being homeless, right? And the state of not enjoying her life and wanting to take her life. And she cured her own panic attacks, doing all this stuff. So I feel like the message of the day is for you guys to go watch that podcast. It's on Spotify. So just look up Joe Rogan and Jewel. Let me see what number podcast it is, because she figured out how to do all this stuff herself, and it's just super amazing. It's number 1724. So if you just search that, you'll find it. Go watch it. Go listen to it. It's so amazing. She is such an amazing person, and she is psychic. Like, if you listen to her words, she doesn't use psychic spiritual terminology really, but she talks about talking to herself, finding answers from inside herself. She talks about how her thoughts and her hands, like her hands are the servants of her thoughts. Like, her hands just obey whatever she's thinking. And so she tracked what she did with her hands for 2 weeks, and she noticed that during that period of time she kind of stumbled upon this idea of presence, being present in the moment, and that kept her from having panic attacks. Stuff like that, like really, really deep stuff. And it's so cool. So anyway, that's one big message that that Spirit is saying. Like, go watch that podcast, go listen to it. There's so much good stuff to get from there. And I just, I'm just in the beginning of it still. Like, I'm at I'm within the first hour. I'm almost up to the first hour of it, but it's just so good. So much good information. Let me see if there's anything else that I'm getting from this message. Yeah, I'm seeing, like, if any of you are going through this state right now. Hang on a second. I have to burp. Hold on. I'll probably cut this out. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so, and I feel like if you're not personally going through this heartache and loss, but there's somebody that you know where this information would help them, like if the information that I just spoke about Jewel, like helping herself, out of her own plight, if that's helpful, this might be something that you can forward to a person that you know that's going through this state, okay? But what I'm getting from this when I look at this picture is that a lot of it has to do with, here's your earthly situation, right? But if you can clear your mind, and figure out how to access your spirit through here, then this all will change. Like physical reality stuff where it, if you're in a situation where either somebody broke your heart or, life is rough and tough and you physically don't know how to get through it, or you physically are just in a lot of pain about it, right? Either emotional pain or physical pain. That if you can at least just clear this part of you, the head part of you, where it's like your connection with your spirit is clear, then once you establish that, the answers are within, right? You go within and establish the connection with your spirit. That connection where you feel relief from just knowing that you're connected to a higher source, to a higher power, to a higher vibration of yourself, right? That then your physical reality, the physical things that might be hurting you, that you might be in pain about, that's gonna start releasing. You're gonna find relief in it. But it starts here. It starts here with you understanding that there's like a higher you, a bigger you inside yourself that has the answers. There's another message coming through for those of you who are needing to find a safe space yeah, like a physical safe space. Or so this could be like, I mean, if you go to the more intense version of pain, right? Like you physically need to go find a space that is safe for you. That this is a message from your spirit to, yes, to go find some place that is safe for you. If this is more of like you needing, say for example, right, you're not feeling so good, but you have a friend of where you can go to their house and you always feel good there. This is talking about going there and just to a change of scenery, or to find some place where you feel good, where you feel like either like a friend's house, or if you have a space like that you always go to, like the beach, or you go to by a lake, or someplace in nature, someplace that you go where you feel good, like every time you go there. If you're not feeling good, go to that place, so that you can just, that change of scenery, that the energy of that place that you go to that makes you feel good will help you shift your energy, and will help you shift out of this heartache and loss type of feeling that you're having. And in that space, like in that physical place that you go to, if it's like a park or something, right, and you go there and your energy starts to shift, you're going to start hearing from your source. You're going to, they're just saying like the change in location and also the shift in energy of a place where you feel good will help you connect with your spirit, and you'll hear your spirit better in that place, at that location, at that space. Yeah, that's what they're saying. Okay. I'm seeing a lot of like angelic energy right here. So if you work with angels, then you're going to be able to connect with them too. And you'll know the difference because inside yourself, you're going to feel a warmth of energy going through, like, if you think about like Kundalini energy or something like that, like up and down your spine, or just up and down like the inner core of you, you're going to feel a warm, I'm seeing it as like a golden light going through like all of your chakras, from above and down your head all the way down through the core of your body. There's going to be like a healing that takes place. Okay. Yeah. So that looks good. That's the message. So enjoy the podcast. I'll link it below in the description. And yeah, everything's good. Everything's okay. The answers are within. Okay. So that's the message of the day. Take care, you guys. Bye.